Okay.
Start, right? Okay. So today, we talk about briefly about meditation. Uh, so meditation in Tibetan we say Gom, yeah, Gom, Tibetan meditation, right? The meaning of the meditation or the etymology of the meditation is that uh, you you familiarize with the object, the focal object or the virtuous object. So when we familiarize with the virtuous object or get used to the virtuous object, that is the definition of the meditation. That is the definition of the meditation, right? That means, familiarizing with the virtuous object, though, or wholesome object. So meditation here we talk about the getting used to those positive, the positive things. And then so within that meditation we can talk about the two kinds of meditation mainly, although there are different kinds of meditation, but if you try to summarize all these in different types of meditation, then it can summarize into the two main meditation, which is called analytical meditation and absorptive meditation, right? So right, so so when we try to understand what is analytical meditation and what is the absorptive or single pointed meditation, right? So analytical meditation is all about analyzing, just examine or to analyze the things, right? Now for example, analyzing the object, what is the nature of the what is the nature of the love, what is the nature of the compassion, all these things, why the negative, on the other hand, why the negative emotions are so destructive, so when we try to analyze the aspects, so this so this involves meditation on the analytic, right, examination, because we are trying to examine, and also when we talk about the impermanent nature or the transient nature, right, why things go into the go into the process of disintegration, why things is subject to momentarily changing, all these things which really involves the analyzing the nature of the things and the events. So this the very uniqueness of this analytical meditation is that the more we try to analyze the the greater we gain the conviction, right? We get really gain the conviction that. So this is the. So this is it. This is the. There is no other option. That's it. So we come to that conclusion, right? Finally. So based on one's conviction of what we have found in the analytical meditation, so this the purpose, so this purpose that we have found, then we try to sustain it through a single pointed meditation, right? Single pointed meditation. So when we talk about single pointed meditation, it's mainly involves placing or setting one's mind single pointedly on the object itself, regardless of the duration of the time, right? Duration of the time. So just trying to sustaining it, or maintaining the duration period is all about single pointed meditation, right? So for example, many of the things, for example, we want happiness. We as a human being, we as an animal, we as a sentient being, by nature and by innate, the nature is one happiness and does not one suffering, right? So although we do have the very right to be to seek happiness and do not want suffering, right? So this is a very instinctive nature. But then somehow, maybe somehow things do not go in the expected way, right? Right. Although we want happiness, we do not want suffering. But then in contrast, by contrast, we then experience, more, may go through, more suffering. Right. So, for example, just if we try to take an example, right? So today, I may be happy, or I'm maybe not happy, unhappy today. Maybe I may be unhappy, or I may be happy. But then, if you try to search, why I'm unhappy, why I'm happy, right? If you try to search, what causes which makes me unhappy, what causes which contributes to my happiness, if you try to searching in that way, so this so this involves the analytical meditation, because we are analyzing, right? Because if we don't analyze, if we do not analyze, then we don't we do not find the solution, right? So when we try to analyze, then we find the solution, right? This solution then helps in maintaining, helps in maintaining the calm mind, the mind calm. So, and also when we talk about the, we can talk about the, transformation, right? A mind transformation. And transformation is what we all want, right? Transformation is what we all want. So therefore, in order to transform ourselves, right? In order to make the transformation of ourselves, transformation takes place through conviction, right? Conviction. In order to gain the conviction in our mind, within our mind, we need to do the self-reflection of the object. We need to go through the reflection or contemplation, right? This contemplation is then contemplation in order to engage in the critical contemplation or reflection. we need to understand, right? We need to understand. In order to understand, we first need to hear, right? So through this, gradual process, of cultivating the different types of wisdom, right? Wisdom gained through hearing, wisdom gained through reflection, and then that wisdom is now transformed into the experience, right? Experience. For example, like somebody who feels thirsty, right? Somebody who feels thirsty. So these three wisdom are, can be compare. These three wisdoms are compared with someone who is thirsty, So someone who is very thirsty. So that person, in order to quench the thirst, it is not enough to say, oh, I'm thirsty. This won't solve, the problem of the thirst, If that person really want to, quench the thirst, he or she need to find the water. The means to, quench his thirst, find the water. So that person now try to gain the information, where is the water available, right? For example, like well, like this. So seeking the information about the availability of the water is like wisdom gained through hearing, So person seek the wisdom. Now the thirsty person equipped with the information where the water can be get, right? Where the water can be get. And now again, it is not enough that the person gain the information, right? If the person really want to pacify the thirst, the suffering of thirst, the person need to go there and then try to drink the water, right? So now then person go to that place, for example, where there's a water, the person reach there, right? So that is information, the wisdom gained through reflection, right? Because person is like reflecting. Now person go there, and then, now the person reached there to the well, for example, right? Again, the person cannot say, "Oh, I'm now water there. Now I'm satisfied. My quench is solved." It's not enough. The person need whatever method, whether he want to use the cup or whatever it is, person need to drink it. Then quench his thirst. So similarly, by using the cup, and then by drinking, now the real quench is pacified. The suffering of the thirst is pacified. The quench the thirst only by drinking the water, right? So that is compared with the wisdom gained through meditation, right? Wisdom gained through meditation, through this, now then begin to affect the mind. Then it's really beginning to affect one's mind, right? One's mind. So therefore analytical meditation is very powerful in very powerful in gaining the true conviction, which then finally makes the transformation take place, right? So otherwise, right from the beginning, without much, doing analyzing, try to do a single pointed meditation, won't be of, much help. But then in terms of, the person can still in the text talks about seeking the calm abiding or single pointed meditation first, then followed by special insight, meditation of the special insight, right? But right, so from that perspective, for example, right, I do some, for example, I'm reading some prayer, right? I'm reading some prayer, or I'm trying to do some, some kind of meditation, right? After one or 2 seconds, for a few seconds, for a few seconds, my meditation, okay. But then after a few seconds, then my mind begin to get distracted here and there. Right. So why this distraction take place, right? Either I feel sleepy when I try to do some kind of meditation, or when I try to do some prayer, not this kind of, the act of the chanting or reading or some kind of doing meditation is not powerful, not powerful. These things are easily interrupted, right? Where they fall asleep, either get distracted here and there, right? Now, this happens, this occurs because, because our mind is very weak in the beginning. Our mind is very weak, and this weakness is caused by a lack of stability and the clarity of the meditation, right? And not only, but then why we do not have the stability and the clarity is because we have not habituated. We are not get used to the meditation, right? So mainly all these causes, right? And so therefore, even for when we try to do a 1 minute meditation, right, single pointed meditation, right, for example, if we try to remain our mind fixed, placed on that object, even 1 minute may walk, but then after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we get fit, I mean, no longer existed, right? So now we see in many of the practice, for example, in many of the practice, people first, out of maybe I'm not sure, I don't know. For maximum for a few months, people do out of curiosity, out of excitement, out of right some kind of enthusiasm. Do this practice for maximum few months. Then after a few months, no continuation. Why? Because there is no the strength. There's no strength, continuation of the strength. Why there's no continuation of the strength? It's because there is no strength of the stability of the meditation and the clarity of the meditation. The clarity of the meditation and the stability of the meditation is acquired through calm abiding meditation, single pointed meditation, right? So therefore, in the practice, first single pointed meditation is done, right? Done, then followed by the what is called as special insight, superior insight, right? So so the two main important thing in the Buddhist kind of meditation, the meditation is either included either in single pointed meditation or in special insight meditation, right? Or what we call as analytical meditation or absorptive meditation or placement meditation, right? Absorptive meditation. Now here, before we, so whatever kind of meditation, right? Whatever, for example, whatever kind of practice we are about to undertake, right? For example, today I'm going to do some kind of calm abiding meditation, right? Single point meditation. Today I'm going to meditate on the love, right? Unconditional love. Today I'm going to do some kind of meditation on the, for example, like mindfulness, right? Or today I'm going to meditate on the Buddha, say Manjushri or Avalokiteshvara, Buddha of compassion, or for example, like Samantarapatra, Siddhapata, Siddhigarbha, or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, any kind of practice, any kind of practice, prior to doing any kind of practice, we cannot come. Oh, today I'm going to do this. Right? Sit and trying to do meditate. This is not honest with oneself. This method is not something very honest with oneself. Right now, for example, take the example. If we want to do the work in the farmland, if we want to do our farming, or just take a handful of sprout and then scatter it, and that's it. I did my farming. It will not work, right? Even if you want to really enjoy the good, tasty food, you need a lot of ingredients, right? You need a lot of materials to make the food tasty. So even to get some kind of productive result, you need many things ahead of time. Because on the one hand, we say, oh, I want to eat very nice and delicious food, but then we don't have any ingredients, and then just hopping. It's just hopping, right? And also farming the same. We want to have a good harvest, but then putting don't take care the farming, before you need to take out all the to make the soil fertile and everything, right? To take out all the dirt from the farmland like this. So then if we do the farming, it's very nice. If you don't do this, or scattering, expecting a good harvest, it's not a good thing, not a realistic, right? Similarly, when we do any kind of the practice or any kind of meditation, right? Meditation or practice which involves kind of the visualization, right? Visualization. So we need to go through the preparations, right? We need to arrange, we need to prepare. Few things are necessary, right? So here, now there are six, what we call as preparations, 6 preparations. I don't go into each of them. I don't go into each of them, but I just go through. I just we just discuss and deal with only the what is called as physical posture. Physical posture. How to set up the physical posture for meditation, and also the breathing meditation, right? Breathing meditation. So although again, I don't go in all these issues in much detail. They are very, the breathing meditation, and then physical posture very extensive. I don't go just try to make it as easy as possible and understandable as possible. Right. So at least bodily we call physical posture. So before we do any kinds of meditation or practice which involves a kind of visualization, so this setting up one's bodily posture or physical posture is very important factor. Right. So now this physical posture, meditative posture, is sometimes what is called as Vairocana 7-point posture, right? Posture. So these 7 points posture are, first I will just point out each of these 7 and then deal with each of them individually. Right. First is cross-legged. Cross-legged is number 1, right? Number 2 is the hand in a meditative. Your hand in a meditative, meditative nature or posture, and then the back state, right? Number 3, and then the shoulder stash, like this, number 4, and then mouth, let it in its natural 5th, right? 5th, and then the tongue, touch on the palate. 6th, and then eye gaze around the tip of the nose. 7. So these 7. Now here I will talk about this. We talk about this individually, right? The first one is why these 7 postures are called Vairocana 7 posture. Vairocana 7 posture, because Vairocana is the Buddha of the purification, right? So Vairocana is the purification factor. Vairocana is the purification factor of the form aggregate. Right? So Vairocana is the purification factor of the form aggregates. If you look at the picture of the Vairocana, right, you will see the this Vairocana having the 7 bodily postures, meditative postures, right? Right. Now here, if we set up, while we do some kind of meditation, if we set up this 7 posture, we create the physical karma, positive karma. We create the physical positive karma, which then is then the cause for producing the Vairocana's body resultant stage, at the resultant stage. Maybe I will discuss this a little bit later. So the first one is of the 7 posture, the first one is cross-legged, right? The cross leg means, your left leg, right? Your left leg, you bring in, right? You bring in, right? I think I better show the picture. I don't, right? It is something like this,
Can you show on the video?
Yeah.
Zoom 上能看得到，是不是给我们
Got it? Yeah.
这是我们的金刚座或者莲花座，两个腿要交叉起来。
Right, something like this. You bring the left leg in, and then your right leg, here, right, left leg in, right leg you put on your right, right leg in, and then doing like this, and then put this, left leg on this, something like this. Yeah. Something like this, right? So this is the first one, right? So and so this posture, cross leg, cross leg is called as Vajra cross leg, right? So this is mainly, the posture is especially, especially what is also seems necessary if one practice the the tantric practice in the high Soka Tantra. So if possible, doing like this, cross leg. If not, then you take the left leg in and then put the right leg. You don't have to put the other one, right? Just doing it's okay. But then some people cannot do all these things, right? And then for some people, they just want to have the loose sitting posture. For that, if you look at the green Tara, if you look at the the figure of the green Tara is left leg in, right leg little bit stretch out. So like this, one can. It is also okay to do that, right? Now, if we do this kind of posture, what is the purpose, right? So the very purpose is that we will have the stability. We would gain the stability of our meditation, right? Meditation, and also there's less interferences. Less interferences like kind of evil forces. There's a less danger of attack, of getting attacked from some kind of what we call as evil forces, interferences, different kinds, right? And also another factor is also that it also helps you to generate the pliancy, what we call as pliancy, right? Physical pliancy. So this is a factor. So this is the reason why we do in the cross-legged position, right? When we do the meditation, right? And then afterwards, now with this, this is the first one, and the second one is now it's about your hand, it's about your hand. Oh, sorry. I forgot to say the one early thing. Your cushion. So first, the first one is, where we are going to sit on the cushion, right? So we talk about the quality of the cushion. The quality of the cushion is normally should not like flat, should not be like flat. The rear side, little bit, little bit up, and the front side low. right? Because the purpose of having a front side little bit up and the rear side up and front side low is because your back gets straight, to have the erect position of your back side. And then so if somebody he would like to maybe helpful for sharing this that to understand all these things. For example, if someone were to take a some kind of meditation for a longer period of time, then usually what is done is on the cushion they put they 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 first write the called swastika, right? they, they write the chalk, they write the figure of the swastika with the chalk, right? Because swastika indicates the indestructibility, that your meditation can be very stabilizing meditation. And then on the top of that swastika, people know swastika, right? Yeah. And then on the top of the swastika, we put a kusha grass. Right? Kusha, there's a particular grass, kusha grass. Yeah, kusha grass. So the tip of the kusha grass is here on, and then the tip, the base side is on the back side, on the right. Something like this, kusha. This is a kusha grass. Kusha grass is, on the mat, on your cushion. It is something like you place, right? Oh, so this is like, so this is double vajra, right? Double vajra or swastika is the option, right? But however, it is important to note that this should not be used. This figure should not be used. Because why this figure should not be used is because this figure is the emblem or the symbols of the deity. So if you put under your, you are stepping on, right? So this is no good. Rather swastika, right? Swastika is written here. As earlier, swastika indicates the indestructibility. Your meditation can be very good, very focused. And then on the top of this, if you stay like this, on the mat, then putting here like this, So because this swastika, this, kusha grass indicates the, it's a very clean, and also it integrates the virtue, right? Because mainly when Buddha, or the founder of Buddha, the kind Buddha Shakyamuni, because when he undertake the meditation, somebody offered a fellow by the name of Tashi. That Tashi offered the kusha grass, and then Buddha used this as his cushion, and Buddha announced, so long as I haven't achieved, until I achieve the state of the enlightenment, I won't arise from that meditation, So this is the, life story of the Buddha that we should follow. Right. So this is the meaning. And then, Then on the mat, you one can this mat or cushion, this mat or cushion cannot be animal skin.
首先我们自己的坐垫呢，第一个不要用动物的，
No animal skin,
不要用动物的皮肤，
except for some people who have eyesight problem, right? Eye problem. For these people,
特别的情况，对于
bear skin is recommended. Only bear skin is recommended.
视力有问题的，
Otherwise, no animal. And then exception. Another exception is
you say bear skin,
bear. Right. Right. Bear. Yeah. Bear. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah.
对于视
Bear.
视
Yeah.
力有，我们通常
Boar.
不要用这个，
And then there, in addition to it, there's another exception. There's a wild animal called, I think you don't have any idea about this, wild animal called tina. There's a wild animal, very,
动物的听法，
this animal is very, how to say, very, very gentle, very compassionate. Compassionate.
Is it the skin I'm looking at?
Yeah, this one.
It's kind of like a deer, right?
Deer, yeah. It's a called, actually in Tibetan we call tina, Yeah, the deer, something like this. So this is very compassionate animal, right? Very compassionate and very loving animal.
这样的一个皮，
And also by using this skin, it also maybe helps to cultivate the gentleness
慈悲心
nature,
是这样。
can make the gentleness nature through which, one can then cultivate the love and compassion, right? Love and compassion. So in these two cases, the deer or the, the bear, other than the no animal, skin is permitted for using as a cushion, right?
不要用动物的。
Mm. So this deer is sometimes maybe the story is being told,
故事是这样讲说，
because when this deer is being tried to be killed, what they do is two people, there are two people, right? Two people,
两个人
they make some kind of, how to say, they do some plan, they do some tricky plan, yeah, trapped, they try to get this, the deer trapped, so but then so this each of them take the knife, these two animals take the knife, and then they while they performing the trapping the plan,
让他们的计划这样的一个
what really happened is somehow they themselves get into
叫什么的，
argument and fight themselves.
自己
So this deer, so this deer, because of its gentleness nature
他自己
and compassionate nature, this deer come in between them, and then
看到了
because of this, the deer accidentally get killed, right? So it looked like they intentionally come in between them, that to prevent these two being from harming each other.
那这个鹿呢，是有意的走近了他们，然后呢，想要阻止他们两个人呢来伤害对方因为这样这个鹿
or something like this.
有这样的一个故事，
And then when it comes to the the cushion, high cushion, so usually the high cushion, the height of the cushion is recommended as 1 feet. Oh, this one, this
然
inch.
后呢，大概1肘长建议呢是1肘长，就是我们的手肘，这样从can you show your hand？
How many inch? Like this
1
height.
肘长，就是从我们的手掌伸直到我们的这个肘关节的这个地方1肘长的这个长度。
Like, and then we all know the rear side, and then this should not be too big, no good. Yeah, enough to hold one person, because it's one person doing metric, right? And then there is a place, what kind of place? So we don't go into this too complicated. Just just the cushion, and then this we already discussed the cross leg.
Face to the east.
Huh?
Face to the east direction. No.
This is associated with the daily practice. Yeah, no. And then so cushion is, although the cushion is not included in the 7 posture, but it is necessary, So, but the actual, what is included in the cross-legged, we already discussed. And then the second one is, how to say, meditative, meditative posture, hand meditative posture, right? This hand meditative posture is, this is your left hand, right? Left hand below, right hand is placed above. And then doing like this. One need to bring this 2 thumbs, tip of the thumbs joined together. And where to place, where to place is 4th finger, you have 4th finger, white, and then there's a navel, right? There's a navel, below the navel, 4th finger here, right? For example, here, now you do this, right? Why? The reason why we do this, below the navel is because below the navel there is what we believe in the inner fire, what is called as Zindalani, right? Zindalani, or in the Tumu, inner fire is located below the navel, right? So, right. And then when you do this, on the tip of this one thumb, right? On the tip of the thumb, there's the bodhicitta channel. We believe bodhicitta channel. So, what it does is, when you join the tip of the thumb, because there is a bodhicitta channel, it gets the friction, right? Right. When 2 things come together, there's a friction. Friction generates heat. This heat, so this heat helps to ignite the inner fire. When the inner fire is ignited, it awakens, activates the seed of the bodhicitta, right? Altruistic mind, right? And also, it can make the practitioners, the personality more gentle. The more gentle, and also through this can cultivate the love and compassion, loving compassion, right? This is one reason. Another reason is, when we, although usually, normally we do left hand and right hand together, right? But in some cases, some cases, for example, in Mother Tantra, left is put first, not the right. But in general, we put the left below, right over there, right? So now here, the right, this right finger, the right thumb symbolize the method. The left symbol symbolize the wisdom. So when the method and wisdom are practiced together, when the union of the method and wisdom are practiced together, it gives rise to what? It gives rise to the 3 bodies of the Buddha. So here, so this triangle, right? Triangle, we form the triangle by doing this, right? So 1, first triangle, second, third, right? So it gives rise to the 3 bodies of the Buddha. We do this, right? So when this is the method, this is the wisdom. So when the when the union of method and wisdom is practiced,
代表着
hand by hand,
方便
it gives rise to the three body states, Buddha's three body.
这样子能够
So here,
佛的三身，
three triangle, 1, 2, 3. So three bodies
这样
is speaking,
三个相比都形成一个三角形，这个三角形所象征的就是佛的法身。
right? Wisdom body, natural body, and then the
佛的
Sambhogaya.
自性法身以及佛的
So like
报
this.
身，这样子三身。
Right. So there are two different, implications, right? When we put here, right, below the,
手掌所放的这个地方呢，有非常重要的意义。
right. So this is the
已经讲到
second posture.
这个祭文不同的丹田的地方，能够帮助我们点燃我们的火。
The third
的心灵
one is now, we wants body straight, right?
第三个
Like this, wants body straight, right? Not like this,
我们的脊柱很直，
right? Or not like this, Sometimes.
不是把背呢，不是说特别特别的挺，就是要
Because, why body straight
为什么
is because
要直呢？
when, because we already know there are many channels, spread throughout our body.
我们知道说，我们有我们的身体
Many channels are, many channels are being spread out throughout our body.
我们身体里面
So these channels are not empty. These channels flow what? Flow blood,
除了这些脉呢，
the fluid, white fluid,
流动的
the blood, and also the winds. The winds also flow through. So if once, body is like this, your body like this, so the channels also, not straight. If the channel is not straight, then your body is not serviceable. If your body is serviceable, your mind is not serviceable. If your mind is not serviceable, you are not able to focus on the object well.
我们的心呢，
So in order to focus on the object well, in order to make your mind serviceable, your body should be erect. Your body should be straight. If your body is straight, the channels also get straight. When the channels get straight, the winds flow through it, flow through them very smoothly.
脉的是呢，我们的气
Right?
里面
This makes the mind so serviceable, and then you are able to
内心，我们的
meditate on the focal object so smoothly.
那这样子，我们休息沉浸的时候呢，就会变得
For example, sometimes, we say, oh, I want to do meditate, oh, I'm doing meditate. But then, we don't set up the body very well. Just after a few seconds, we get tired because we haven't set up the body very well.
并没有就很好的调整我们自己的这个身体，那这样我们的禅修呢就不会有力量。
So therefore, you are able to focus, you are able to place on the object of meditation very well if we, get our, back straight. Number 3. And number 4 is, like this. This one, right? Where it is a little bit stretched, right? And here doing like this, a little bit stretched, something like this. If you try to do this, you really feel some kind of, relaxedness, really comfortable, right? If you do like this, then why we do this is because if we do like this, for example, if you try to do meditate like this, because then you brought this, shoulder little bit, inward. What happens is then you feel the constriction, you feel the, the congestion of the chest. No good for meditation.
要平，因为我们如果
Right.
坚持
So when we this out, you feel more relaxedness. There's a sense of relaxedness.
这样呢，我会感受到有一种放松的这个感觉。
right? And then number 4th. Number 5th is your mouth, your mouth should let it in its natural, state, let it, because sometimes,
我们的嘴巴呢，自然的闭合，
not too wide open, not too, closed, too tightly closed, but let it, in a normal way.
太只能
Because the main purpose is to look nice, to look good, and not only that,
我们要看起来，
but also, if you try to adopt some kind of, crook mouth, the people you receive criticism.
如果我们
So it's an avoidance of criticism. If you try to take a different shapes of the mouth, while meditating, what that person is doing. So something that so like this. So this is mouth, and then the 5th, and then touching the palate, touching your tongue on the palate.
第6个呢，我们的
Touching on your tongue of the palate is,
顶上颚，顶住上颚，
what is the reason is, and to prevent from excessive salivia, to prevent from occurring the excessive salivia in your mouth.
这样子呢，它能够帮助我们，
And not only that, but also it prevents from dries up.
它能够帮助我们不要产生太多的这个口水。
It says like this. It says.
帮助我们咱们嘴巴呢不会太干，这样。
But then if you again now, if you use the little bit logic,
如果我们仔细
if you try to use the logic, if there is no salivia, then you might get dried up, right?
对，如果我们仔细去思维它，如果说我们如果没有任何的口水的话，
If there is no salivia in your mouth, you might, there is dried up. So what does that mean? Right?
这个是什么意思？
The purpose of, touching the tongue on your palate, it says, to prevent from excessive, production of the salivia, and then, to prevent from the dried up of the mouth. But actually, it's that
能够防止说
it means when you gain the stability of the meditation, when we gain the stability of the meditation, then it prevents from salivia, excessive salivia,
就是
right?
说当我们禅修很稳定的
It prevents from, mouth dried up means when with this stability, if you prolong your meditation period, if you prolong the duration of meditation, even you don't get your mouth dried,
就是说，如果我们能够在定里面长时的安住的话呢，
right?
它也不会
So this is the reason.
能够防止我们的这个嘴巴里面变得太干燥，这样子。
And then eyes, eyes around this, eyes on the
第7个，我们的眼睛
eyes on the around the tip of the nose, not exactly at the tip of the nose, but around, but just around the,
盯住我们，眼睛稍微关注在这个。
because what is the reason for doing this is because it prevents from the fault, the fault like mental thinking and mental excitement.
防止我们的在打坐时候的2种障碍，我们的沉默和吊举2种障碍。
Because in some very ancient traditions, in some of the ancient traditions, what happened is
因为在一些古代的一些传统的修行者的里面，
what happened is when they try to do the meditate, right? What happened is some they eyes closed, they didn't do meditation. And some, when they're trying to do some object in front of them, they meditate with the eyes wide open.
我们在一些传统里面，他们修行的时候，眼睛是张得大大的。
So if you meditate with the eyes too close, too tightly, it will give rise to mental, laxity or mental sinking, You feel sometimes, your mind is not clear, you feel a little bit sleepy, something like this.
Eyes are all closed.
You're a bit close, you know, if you close.
记得的时候呢，我们就会容易沉默，因为会变成心不是很清晰， 昏沉。
If our eyes is again wide open while doing meditation, then again you get a lot of distractions.
我们就会
One get a lot of distractions.
很多的这个分心。
So to prevent from this, you know, two faults. So just focus your, you know, eye around the tip of the nose while our mind or your mind, you know, focused on the
然后我们内心呢，
inside,
往
internally.
就往内走，向内去观照，这样子。
And then, so these are the 7 points,
第7个
right? And then the head, you know,
我们的头
for example, all the head is not included, but then, you know, while doing meditation, something like doing this. If they do meditation like this.
有些人做了
If we do like this, you know, it gives rise to, again, excitement, you know.
这样也会令我们产生
This attention of development is the sense of pride, you know,
也会让我们
arrogance. Do like this. And then if you do something, you know, doing like this, mental singing, it gives rise to mental singing, do like this. And then, but something, yeah, balance, you know,
因此呢，做的时候
doing like this.
脖子呢也是尽量的要直和挺住，这样的不向前不向后的这样子。
Oh, this, so, right. And then another thing is, when doing some meditation, you know,
有时候
You know
做的时候呢，
one should not do like this,
往左歪或者往右歪，
leaning on the right side. It gives rise to gross attachment.
如果我们往左或者往右歪呢，就容易令我们心
Or you cannot do like this. If you try to do this, it gives rise to, you know, anger.
或者嗔恨心。向左呢，向右呢，就是向右。
Don't do like this. It gives rise to in front, you know, front. If you try to do this, lean on the in front too much, you know, it gives rise to, you know, ignorance, confusion.
和功名所生关系。
Don't do like this, you know. If you try to do like this, it, again, you know, give rise to the sense of arrogance,
向后呢，会产生慢，容易产生慢性。
right?
身体的知识也还是很对自己的内心是会有影响的。
If we try to know all these things, there's truly a sense of, you know, the profundity in this meditation, sevenfold meditation, right?
很详细的去记住这些重要的要点呢，特别是这个毗卢七支的这个做法的要点，我们会
Then
开始有
we will come to appreciate, admire
是这个内涵的，我们心里面呢会，我们会对这个修行呢会有一种感激，有一种
in the great
伟大的
the master
大师
Marpa Lozawa,
马尔巴一大意识，
the Marpa, the great translator.
马尔巴
Yeah.
大意识，
He says
那个巴，
he says
他说
there are many profound
我们有
instructions in the land of snow, referring to Tibet. Yeah, there are many instructions, you know, different kinds of, you know, the so-called this profound instruction, that profound instruction. But then, if all these instructions were to put together or combine, they cannot compete with my profundity of this posture, sevenfold, 7-point meditative posture. They cannot compete with my, you know, profundity, right? So if you try to know this, you know, the points, then yeah,
了解这个
one may look, you know, it's a boasting. He was boasting. Actually, not boasting. It's true, you know.
会知道他说
If we truly know there's the abundant, you know,
气脉，我们
profound things in that kind of meditative, you know, sevenfold, something like this. So, right. So this is the basic physical, how to set up the bodily posture, you know. It is called the Vairocana sevenfold posture, right? Or sometimes it is called 8-point Vairocana meditative posture, right? Because right now we 7 discussed, but sometimes if you 8 breathing meditation, then it becomes 8.
这里我们讲到7个，如果再加上我们这个呼吸，
If we 8 the breathing meditation as a 8, yeah, as a another one, then 8, it becomes 8, right? So when all these are well set up, when all these things are well set up, then we begin with the
一开始到这个地方都往往
breathing meditation now.
我们就
Now breathing meditation comes, right? Breathing meditation comes. So this, now we talk about breathing meditation, right? How you can set up the bodily posture? We already discussed that it creates such a karma to which produce the Buddha, varichanas, bodily, which creates the varichanas, perfect body. So then, when we engage in the breathing meditation, right, or breathing meditation, or purifying your wind, or settling the winds, when we settling the winds, which is associated with breathing meditation, it creates what? When we engage in purifying the breathing, we also create the karma, positive karma. We create the the positive karma of the speech karma, right? Speech karma, which then produce the varachana speech, perfect speech.
做这样的一个修行，我们就召集了能够成就佛的语德功德的这样的
Right. So when we purify the winds, we are, right, because your speech is dependent on the wind, right? Your speech is dependent on the wind. Without wind, the speech is impossible, right? Speech is impossible. The speech is fundamentally, very heavily dependent on the winds, because if there is no wind in our body, how can we talk? How can we converse? There's no speech. So therefore, when we purify the winds, we are purifying this, we are purifying the speech, and this helps you to create the perfect speech of the Varishana. When we are settling the winds, when we are purifying the winds, we are also purifying the mind, right? Because wind and the mind are of the same nature, So therefore, we are also settling the mind, and we are also purifying the mind, which then creates a positive karma of the mind to finally transform into the Varachana's perfect mind. So we create body, speech, and mind of the Buddha Varachana. Right? So in this breathing meditation, physical posture and meditation, it really condenses many of the practice. Truly wonderful practice. Right. So then, we now talk about the breathing meditation, right? So there are again the different kinds of breathing meditation, right? Different kinds of breathing meditation. I won't go into the breathing meditation which is associated with the tantra, right? So we just talk about the general breathing meditation. Breathing. So the first type of the breathing meditation is called breathing meditation of a 9-round breathing meditation. Nine-round breathing meditation. The second type of breathing meditation is called descending of nectar breathing meditation.
第二个呢是指我们降甘露下降。
The third one is called pouring continually breathing meditation. Pouring continually.
第三个呢就是说连续的浇灌的这种方法。
So the first one we deal with the first one, right? 9 round breathing meditation. So
第一个我们来讲我们所说的9节佛空的修行。
So we need to here understand what is the purpose of 9 round breathing meditation.
第一个我们必须要了解9节佛空的这个修行。
Right. It is like, if there is no profit, why should I do business?
我们必须要了解它的功德。
In order to do the business, you need to see the profit. Yeah. If you see the profit, then you do the business. Something like this. So therefore, the purpose of the 9 round breathing meditation is to just calm one's mind, to settle one's mind, because our mind is sometimes so disturbed. Right? Too disturbed, so disturbed. Our mind is sometimes not ready to take rest. One day, Angulimala, during the time of Buddha, Angulimala, he by relying on the wrong teacher, under wrong instruction, so finally, that his wrong teacher instructed him that if you would kill 100%, you would be liberated. You will attain the liberation or moksha. So Angulimala thought, oh, that's the real. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So he went on killing 99 people. So he was left to kill only one, right? So he was thinking, so he cut the finger of all the people, he put it like garland, mala, and put it on his neck. So then, he was keep on searching the people, last people. So then he come across with his mother. So he was about to going to kill his mother. So mother pleaded him, I gave birth to you, I raised you. Please have mercy on me. If I don't get another one, I'm going to kill you. Even if I'm not going to get another, other person, then there is no other, option than to, kill you. Then mother pleaded. So while they are in that kind of, the process, somebody is passing. Someone is passing near the, Angulimala. So Angulimala, how to say? Angulimala saw Buddha. Buddha was passing, And then Angulimala, shouted at Buddha and screamed, shouted at Buddha, you stop. You stop. No, Buddha was, working. Then he further, raised the, his voice. Do you know who I am? You dare to stop. You don't dare to stop. How come? Do you know who I am? So Buddha, yes, I know who you are.
佛说是
Buddha told you, Buddha told him, why you are shouting?
佛都说
You told me to wait. I waited. So why you're shouting? It's you who is not, waiting.
你叫我停下来，我停下来了。你干嘛在那大声呢？是你没有停下来的人是你。
So that person, finally through the instructions of the Buddha, then that person slowly
这个人呢，
get a good
他的
person.
他后来变成了一个很好的一个修行者。
So there's also a beautiful, a book by the Master Longchen's, Longchen's book, Resting the Mind at Ease, Comforting the Mind at Ease. The mind is so tired, need to take rest. Because to some extent, because when we talk about the sensorial perceptions are by nature, very distractive nature. The moment they see something easily get distracted here and there. Right. So therefore, so long as our mind is get distracted, there is no way to bring our mind back at home. Because we need to bring our mind back at home, So mind gets so, disturbed, so distracted, it has no time to get it back to our home. Right. So therefore, it's all about, it's all about resting our mind. The first meditation, breathing meditation, is about resting the mind. So then, how the first kind of meditation? How do it, how do it settle our mind? Right. Right. So you take this, this is what ring finger, right? What? So in this kind of meditation, we take the ring finger and then, closing the left hand or right hand, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Close the right hand and first not exhale, first is inhaling the wind, yeah, right. One right. Then, yeah, then exhale, then inhale, exhale, inhale. So we do this 3 times, right? Right, from here. When you begin, if you begin from the, inhale from the right, then you do 3 times, we do 3 times. And then if you are then followed by inhaling from the left, first you from inhaling from the right, yeah. If you do it from the right, the next 3 you do from the left. And then exchange, alternate, right and left, whatever. After that, we do it from both nostril, right? For example, like, we take, for example, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right, 3. Then from the left, 2, 3. Okay. Then from the both nostril.
好，现在呢，2个鼻孔同时深呼吸。
Exhale from the both nostril. Inhale from the both nostril. Exhale from the both nostril. Inhale. 3. Right.
3次。
So this is,
What's the intensity? Do we do long breath?
yeah, long breath. Yeah, long breath.
做这种深
That's
呼吸
not fast, very long.
深呼吸，这样子9次，听明白了吗？
Here, the very point of this meditation is that when we try to do this kind of breathing, inhalation and exhalation of breathing, do not visualize anything.
不要观想，
Do not bring anything to the mind.
心里面要放空。这个时候，
Do not try to get distracted. Only focus on the inhalation of the breath, exhalation of the breath. Only focus this.
这个吸气、呼气。
Nothing.
So when you say focus on the inhalation and then exhalation,
Yeah, of the breath.
How do we focus? Like, do we focus the sensation, feeling of the
No.
touch of this body?
It makes some sound, right? Yeah. Then we visualize the sound, the breathing, I mean, not like So usually the breathing is what? Breathing is something that we cannot see, right?
Yes.
Right. So something which we cannot see. So this, still it's a breath. Still is kind of, breathing. It makes some kind of sound, So in your mind, there's a breathing going and coming.
呼吸的时候呢，我们的呼吸呢是没有任何空气呢是没有任何的形态的，但是呢，我们在吸气的时候，我们仍然知道我们在吸气或者呼气，所以说我们的心呢专注在这样的一个吸气和呼气的过程当中。
Right. Sometimes, for ourselves, because we are beginner, sometimes, and not only that, because the nature, as we discussed, the nature of our sensorial perceptions, the sensorial perceptions are so distracted by nature, It appears that we are not able to visualize unless, unless something is brought into your mind, some solid, thing is brought into mind. It looks, we cannot visualize something which has no color, something which is beyond the form. Actually, right. There's a subtle kind of, wind. Or, when we talk about the breathing, it's a wind, You visualize wind, The movement of the wind, the movement of the breath, the movement of the breath. And in your mind, although it's a colorless, it's a shapeless, but in your mind, you visualize, you visualize the breath, I am breathing. I am breathing. I'm inhaling. I'm exhaling. There's some, concept, like this. So when we talk about, breathing meditation, again, as we said, don't try to visualize anything. Just focus on the movement of the breath. Right. Because the very purpose of doing such kind of, breathing meditation is to settle your mind and to make your mind neutral, Just neutral, Just try to stop the movement of your mind, Try to stop the movement of the kind of discursive thoughts. Because a series of discursive thoughts, follows one after the another in our mind. It never rests. Keep on following one after the other, like ripples of water, repercussion, right? Give rise to one after the another continuously. So this is what we are trying to stop by doing this kind of meditation. breathing meditation.
就是要终止我们这个心妄念，一个接一个的妄念。
Right. Now how this kind of breathing meditation works
修行呢，
works in settling your mind,
静我们的内心，
purifying your kind of very active mind. Now for example, we are either usually we are always distracted by different kinds of the thoughts,
通常来说，我们经常内心
different kind of thoughts. Either we run into the past or we run into the future.
在过去，要么我们专注在未来，
We never try to remain at the present moment.
永远都
Always
安住在当下。
chased by the thoughts, one after another, continuously,
对我们自己
without taking any rest for even a second, right? So if you really try to check,
我们这样子来分析，
if you really try to look into the thoughts, what are the thoughts?
我们来看看我们自己的这个内心。
In our thoughts, we always try to, we try to, in our thoughts, what appears in our thoughts is the visual objects, or sound or some visual objects,
要么是一种镜像，我们的这个妄念要么是一种镜像，要么呢是跟声音所相关系，
right? And then smell,
要么就是和我们的气味、
and then taste,
我们的味道、
right?
我们的色、声、香、味、触相关系的。
And then taste, yeah, then touch.
色、声、香、味、触所相关
Mainly all this
系的。
in the thoughts, this appears, mainly these things appears in the thoughts.
主要的是和这五种根
Right.
五个对境所相关。
And especially those, the visual thoughts are so powerful. Visual thoughts very powerful. When we try to, the visual thoughts appears, right? So when we talk about the visual objects, right? Visual objects.
谈论这些
When we talk about the visual objects,
镜像，
we are talking about the color of the object, or we are talking about the shape of the object, the size of the object, right? So, for example, this cup, right? I see this cup, first I saw this cup, I see this cup because I saw the shape of this, So because
杯子
I see the shape of this cup, I see the color of this cup, so this cup appears in my mind.
这个杯子，它是这样出现在我们的内心里面的。
So, external visual objects, external visual objects,
这些外在的这些视觉的，
our sensory perception is drawn towards the external objects,
我们的这个
drawn towards the external objects.
就会被
Now here,
被抓住
now here, interestingly,
视觉的对境里面。
so mainly our sensory perception is, chased after the objects, external objects, which we discussed, right? Either towards the color of the object, the shape of the object, right?
对境，要么是
So
视觉的话，我们的形状、颜色等等。
now, however, interestingly,
但是非常有
because when we are doing breathing meditation,
做这样
right,
呼吸的禅修的时候，
my eye consciousness, sensory perceptions are not doing meditation.
我们的根识不是我们的根识在做。
When I am doing the breathing meditation,
呼吸的禅修的时候，
my eye, sensory perception, ear, all this has nothing to do, right? These are not doing meditation. These are just sensory perception, because as we discussed, these are by distractive nature, distraction nature. Whereas when we talk about the mind, it's a mental consciousness. Your mind is doing the meditation. So your mind is focusing on something which has no color, which has no shape, which is beyond shape, which is beyond color, which is beyond the form, right? So you are visualizing, you are focusing on something which has no color, which is beyond form, which has no color, shape. So this kind of meditation helps you to stop those distractive mental states, distractive minds, right? And then when I do, for example, breathing meditation, our experience tells us, right? When I do breathing meditation, somebody say something to you, bad thing to you, you don't hear. Right? Because at this very point of mind, your mind manifests, When your mind manifests, sensory perceptions, has simply no room to manifest at the same time. Because two different minds cannot occur simultaneously. So sensory perception, the function, when I do the breathing meditation, the function of the sensory perception all ceased. They cannot manifest. They have no potential to manifest. Right? For example, I'm completely, I saw, just for example, I saw something very nice thing. I'm completely immersed in that, attractive thing, right? My mind is dissolved into that. Right? And then somebody say, somebody play a music, in my ear. I have no idea what kind of music is being played. Well, right? So that shows two different minds cannot happen simultaneously. So this is how it works in breathing meditation. When I do kind of this breathing meditation, on the one hand, I am focusing on something which has no color. On the other hand, what gives me the distraction is the external, the color of the object, the size of the object, of the external things. This draw me to the distractions, right? So when my sixth mind, mental consciousness, is completely dissolved into its own object, those sensory perception has no room to occur in my mind. They ceased. Right. So this again, from our own experience, when I develop some loving compassion, there's no room for hatred. So this kind of meditation, until our mind is satisfied, until our disturbed mind, our mind is, become neutral. Our mind gets neutral, right? It is from that point, then we begin the second meditation on breath. First meditation is very powerful. It is just for just for stopping the discursive thoughts, which make us, more worrisome. Because sometimes, thinking about the past and thinking about the future, make a lot of worry, unnecessary worry. Do not know how to be at the present moment. So once our mind is become, total, sense of neutral, neither positive nor negative. It's just a neutral, neutral. Then,
it's after talk now.
Oh.
Continue next week.
Okay, now I'm not finished here.
Continue next week.
Oh yeah. Then continue next week. I think I hope finish by tomorrow. Yeah, next week. Yeah, finish by.
One more class on this.
Yeah, one more class. Okay, thank you.
那我们师傅，因为我刚才跟他说，我们已经过了
One more class.
我们就下个星期来接着讲这个话题。然后呢，这个课上完了之后呢，看看大家有没有什么还有别的这个课题呢想要学习的如果有的话呢，请大家提出来。
Yeah.
今天的话有没有
Any question?
任何的问
No.
题？关于今天的课的内容有没有任何的问题
No question.
？Okay, ask some question. 等一下。OK， 我听得到，他也听得到，你就直接问好了。
Oh yeah.
I have a question. Is that now that you taught us the first breathing technique,
All right.
We can practice at home.
Yeah.
And so my question is, towards the end, we have to take like slowly deep breath 9 times, right?
Oh yeah. From the it's like this. If we first breathing in, right? If it is begin from the you can do right nostril or left nostril, whatever For example, if you do it from the left nostril, the breathing from the left nostril first, and then exchange with the right, left, something like this, and then this is the first 3 is done. Then the second 3 you begin from the right nostril, right? Then take from like this again. Exchange with the right and left nostril. When this is done, the second 3 is done. Then the last 3, which is taking from the both nostril, inhaling from the both nostril and exhaling and inhaling, right? 3. So this is 9. Total 9.
Okay. So after this 9 breathing technique, we just sit still and try not to think about anything.
Once 9 down breathing meditation, we just check, right, if the mind has settled or not. If the mind has not, if the mind has settled or not, or your mind become neutral or not. If the mind has not, become the neutral, then we try to do it for maybe we increase the the number. We do it for 21 times. Again 21 times. Now again if the again if the 21 times does not work, then there are some physical movement. It will come later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
就今天讲的是第一步，因为刚才有讲到说下一个星期会想讲这个修行之后呢，我们怎么样子做下一步，所以说要等到下个星期你才能够听到下面要干嘛。OK。你先练习这个，然后呢，练习这个呢，如果你比如你念经或者打坐，你就可以接着做那个，也可以。来下个星期呢会接着讲后面一步该怎么办。As I was telling her next week.
Oh, next week, yeah, we will, talk.
What to do next.
Yeah. Yeah, more. We will drop the remaining, you know. Yeah, you are welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, we will do the remaining.
还有别人有问题吗？别的同学？如果没有问题的话呢，因为牛浩他有回到加拿大，所以呢他没有办法来主持我们这个讨论。我看 Albert， 你要不要帮忙主持一下这个课后的讨论？可以吗？
今天学的是 meditation， 我们需要讨论吗？
你们自己看看，如果觉得有需要讨论，就讨论一下，就是大家共同分享一下，就是这个禅修的经验或者说今天听到课的一些疑问或者疑难大家互相分享一下听到的内容也可以，那你们自己决定好不好？
好的。
OK， 那好，那就这样子了，谢谢大家，下个星期再见，拜拜。
OK， 谢谢。
Done?
Yeah.
Okay.